Welcome to the NBTLT podcast with your guides to this magical journey, Lon and Zumi.
Welcome to another episode of the NBTLT podcast, the only podcast that has not been molested by Harvey Weinstein. I'm here.
Jesus Christ.
I'm Lon, and I'm here with my buddy Zumi, and we are joined by another special guest, our friend Solomon. How you doing, Solomon?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Fan-friggin-tastic, my friend.
I'm sick as a fucking dog, but I'm doing well.
Nobody cares.
I've been told to move rooms, so I'm on.
You go ahead and walk. Now, Zumi and I will do, talk about what has happened in the last couple of weeks.
Dude, what the fuck? You had to bring up the Harvey Weinstein thing?
I had to. It was good
shit up.
Dude, no, but it's fucked up, though. Like, this year has been, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this year. I just wanted to end. Like, you got Andy Signor from Screen Junkies.
Yep.
You have Kevin Spacey.
Oh my god, that one sucked.
And now you have Louis C.K., motherfucker.
And
what did they really do? I mean, Louis C.K. jerked off in front of a couple girls. Yeah.
I mean, who hasn't? Who hasn't?
Who hasn't?
every Tuesday.
Worst thing you can do.
Yeah, you make a night of it, No big deal.
I feel like we're going to piss off a bunch of people tonight. I have some really funky opinions on all those subjects. We can get into it. But it'll be fun.
All right.
Well, the thing is, it's funny because I was watching an SNL skit that had Louis C.K., the one with the Black Jeopardy.
Oh God, yeah.
Dude, seriously, I watched that shit, and then the following day, everybody's like, my friend Justin was like, bro. And I'm like, what? And I was like, did you hear the thing about Louis C.K.? And I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah, dude, it's not good. And then I start reading about it, and I'm like, seriously, I read it. It was like, oh, he was asking girls to sit there and watch Master. And I'm like, that sounds like a fucking skit or a bit of his comedy special. I'm like, are you sure this is legit? And he's like, yeah, I think it is. And I'm like, you know what? No, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. And then the following day, my boss is like, Robert, come here. And I'm like, no, Louis, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, I will say, Louis is probably not I think we can agree that he didn't have the worst one out of the last few that have happened in the last couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
The worst one had to have been the Harvey Weinstein. Weinstein?
Yeah, how do you say that?
Yeah, we'll just call him whatever the fuck we want because apparently he's a bad man. That one is pretty terrible. Now, it does kind of tie into something that I did put on the set list here, Zumi. It led me to a video of this channel called Bombard's Body Language. Have you ever seen this lady?
No.
Now, it's actually a really interesting YouTube channel. Basically what she does, I don't know exactly what she does for a living, but part of one of her skills is she's able to read body language and facial expressions, kind of like a human lie detector.
Dude, unless it's Paul Ekman doing that shit, I don't trust it.
But it's really good, and she went through it, and she's looking at some of the videos of these women that are interviewing Harvey Weinstein, and it's really uncomfortable. It's almost as bad as watching some of the videos of the children that are around Joe Biden.
Oh, God.
It's pretty bad. But, yeah, I found that YouTube channel. You guys should take a look at it because it's actually kind of creepy. She went through a bunch of stuff. She went through some of the presidential debates. She went through Kim Jong-un's speeches.
Holy shit.
It's really interesting. But do you think that we should do a kind of an introduction for Solomon here? Because we haven't done that.
I know, right?
We just kind of left him in the dust like he's another host.
I'm just here.
Whatever.
Your fucking intro just threw just threw me off. I'm like,
Yeah, this is not a typical interview.
no, but so Solomon is what I call a glorified security guard.
Glorified security guard.
Security for the world. Security for the world.
Have you killed anyone?
Not that I know of.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it when people say it like that.
No, so I actually met Solomon when I was going through golf school, and this motherfucker helped me go through a divorce, and
Oh, it was a good time.
yeah, I know, right?
Bitches be crazy, yo.
Yeah.
But you were in the Marines, right?
I was. So I was in the Marine Corps for 10 years.
Hoorah.
From 2000, hoorah. We just had our birthday. From 2000 through 2010, got out and decided, hey, I need a break. So that's when I did the golf school thing. Met Zumi, and we became partners for life, just not life partners. And
I highly doubt that.
it might have been dark nights. But yeah, and then we did that thing. Zumi went on. He got his divorce thing going through. I started my divorce at the same time, I think, or a little after yours.
A little after, yeah.
Divorce buddies.
Yeah, dude, it was kind of awkward too. Like,
yeah. Well, yours done. I'm still going through mine. It's been 4 years, and mine's just gonna end. I think next month, hopefully.
You gonna throw a party?
You know what the thing is? Like you've been saying hopefully next month for like the past 2 years.
Well, the judge is like, what the fuck are we doing? This needs to end like now. So that'll be done. And then let's see what else.
You're in the Navy now, right?
Yep, I joined the USNAVE. So I've been in the Navy for the last 8 years. I've been in a 30-foot patrol boat here in San Diego. Like we cruise around the bay and we do patrols and escorts for high-value assets. So I do that thing now. I got 2 more years and I retire. Went to school for criminal justice, and then I got a job doing security for a company called Gavin DeBecker and Associates, which we do executive protection, which is like really high-end security. So billionaires, execs, companies, things like that. That's what we do.
How much pussy can you get by saying that I protect executive assets?
You know, I don't know. I guess you'd have to word it differently. I wouldn't use those words exactly.
What would you say? Like I'm an armed bodyguard?
I wouldn't even go that route because those are a dime a dozen in LA.
That's like saying you're part of the FBI, right?
Yeah, it's like I'm the FBI. Yeah, push papers all day. No, I would have to say something along the lines of, I help these clients mitigate their fear and
mitigate their fear.
The risk, protect them. And, yeah, we fly around the world. You know, it's important shit. I don't know. I'm not picking up girls anymore. I've been in a relationship too long.
Yeah. Yeah, I've forgotten what it's like to be in the game. I've been married for 11 years.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. I'm the only one here that hasn't been divorced. Yay.
It's cheaper to keep her.
Yeah.
It's cheaper to keep her.
That depends. If it's my mother, it's not cheaper.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, we're not going to get into that though, because that's still a session that I have to do with Zumi to overcome my motherhood issues.
Oh, times.
So I guess officially Happy Veterans Day.
Happy
guys.
Veterans Day,
Happy
yes.
Veterans. Yeah, it's today. Yeah. Do you guys go out and get all your free shit?
Not in this state.
I didn't. No.
No, Washington doesn't hook you up?
No.
Oh man.
No.
It's funny because I think I work for a very liberal company because I don't get Veterans Day off. I get Martin Luther King though.
Oh yeah.
So,
doesn't everybody get that?
I don't know.
Unless you protect executives. Or
Yeah,
executive assets.
We're on every day, 24 hours a day, 365.
I'm sorry,
So-
it's just a sexy job. It just sounds cool.
So Solomon, like,
It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
it is as far as high profile people go. So what's your view on them? Are they just plain assholes because
You
they
know
have
what?
a shitload of money, or are they usually like nice people?
Some of our like one of the richest clients we have the top 1% is a couple of our clients, top 1% in the world, not just in the U.S., in the world. And those guys are super nice. Like they're the nicest guys you'll ever meet. A lot of times it's not the client, it's the spouse that's a complete fucking raging bitch.
Well, you
Oh my
know,
God.
I think that coincides with like military wives. You know how they think they have the same rank as their spouse.
I hate dependapotamuses.
Oh,
I
dude, you
think
know that term? That's crazy. That makes me so happy.
I'd like to say the Marine Corps coined it because we have a lot of really skinny cowboy guys that just date a lot of fat, just huge people for whatever reason. But yeah, dependapotamus. It's a very well known term.
Yeah.
I, I I've never heard it before. It's fucking funny
No?
though.
But you have
Oh,
met them. You
Dependapotamus.
just
Yeah,
didn't know
no,
what they're
but
called.
yeah. But it's kind of funny though. Like it's so the spouses that it's like it just reminded me of the Bill Burr skit when he's like saying like he's talking about Kobe's wife. You know, like this woman's never hit a layup in her life, and she's
Yeah.
getting like half or whatever.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's the spouses, man. They're always the ones that are fucking like completely crazy. It's just psycho.
Well, define crazy. Like they're trying to tell you how to do your job or something, or
Let's see. I like we have a confidentiality thing, so I can't get to names, but we have a client here in San Diego, and this guy, it's the husband's. Usually, it's the husband. It's like the bread maker. Not always, but not to get sex or anything. But guys usually make more money.
Nobody cares on this podcast. It's okay.
Yeah, no one gives a shit. So this guy, he's a billionaire. He's like ridiculously rich, just stupid rich. So he got security for the family to make sure they're safe because he travels like 8 months out of the year. He's gone.
Jesus.
And, yeah, it's ridiculous. So the wife has been like shutting down her command center to send us on errands to like get milk and pick up the kids and shit like that. And he's just been getting pissed. So what he did is he hired another one of our guys to go and just sit at the house. So one of our guys just goes there, sits in front of the house in his car, and just hangs out all day and just watches the house, make sure no one's there. No one goes in or fucks with the house. And that's it. That's, like she gets pissed off when he does that and he doesn't give a shit. And they just fight and they bring like us into the middle of it, and then they treat us like shit. Because she's pissed off that we're doing it, but they're paying us to do it. So it's like, what the fuck are we doing?
So wait, can they like legally ask you to run like errands like that?
Oh,
Like,
dude, we do anything and everything for these people. Literally anything.
so my
literally?
concept,
Anything?
my
Dude.
concept, so my concept of a glorified security guard just changed it to a glorified butler.
Yeah,
That's rude
Yeah.
to me.
dude.
I'm sorry, dude, but
That's what we do, man.
This guy's been trying to get me to apply for like the past year and a half or so.
We make really good money. Like for
I'll
what
apply.
we do, we make really good money. It's they pay us more than we should make for what we do. Now some guys they actually do like the real bodyguard, what you see in movies. They do
Man on
they
fire.
fly out. But yeah, man on fire type stuff. They go out with the client and they're all over the US and all over the world. We do have a lot of clients that are movie stars and singers. So those guys are always gone.
So how many people do they actually want them dead? I mean, is that like likely or
Oh no, a lot. We have, in fact,
holy shit?
we just picked up a new client that I manage in Laguna Beach, and these guys are from Canada. And the reason they're here is because their house got shot up in Canada. This guy came and
shit.
sprayed their house down. So he's now here in the States, and of course he's super paranoid about everything. So when he first got here, we had a group of like 3 guys at one time, 24 hours a day. We were escorting him everywhere, and then we got word from Canada, from our sources, that the guy that had was looking for them had found them. He knew he was here in California, so then this guy went off the deep end and got really paranoid. We had a team down there at all times. We were all strapped. It went crazy for about a week until everything calmed down. And but yeah, like these guys, they have a lot of what we call them pursuers, and yeah, a lot of times they're mentally ill and they just don't know any better. They'll just keep coming on. I do a lot of commercial sites, and we had a guy at one of my sites that just for whatever reason did not understand like don't come on proper anymore, and he would come on every single day. You know, a lot of people were scared of him because he was a black dude, and he looked kind of like mean, I guess, kind of ghetto.
I'm scared of black people.
Oh my gosh! You know, it's good to be black sometimes because it's if you want to get something done, just yell. You know, raise your voice a little bit, get aggressive. We'll do what you want,
motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this guy would come on every day, you know, and finally I just had to, you know, like forcefully take him out, and no one really fucked me after that.
That's
like,
sexy.
Even anyone in the school, they would bring me like food and candy. They were super nice. All the chicks would like hit on me after that. It was great. Yeah, it was great.
The good life.
Oh yeah, man, live the dream every day.
So you're like you're like the Ray Donovan of for some of these guys. You're like Ray Donovan. It's like
That's it, man.
it's like Saul, fix this. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, okay.
Guess I'm gonna fuck this guy up now.
Speaking of
Yeah.
which, when does the next season of Ray Donovan come out?
Dude, it's already been out. Like it just ended last Sunday.
What?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. I've been moving.
It's not the best one, but
Dude, moving ends up being like the whole deployment thing where you're gone for a certain amount of time and you come back and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, that came out like 2 months ago." And like, "Oh man, I gotta catch up." But yeah, do you watch Man on Fire? And I'm not trying to be a dick, but like, do you watch Man on Fire and think, you know, I could do that?
So you know what? Sometimes you do.
Yeah, you feel like
you watch-
Superman. You're like, fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
you know, the Man on Fire, the Takens. You know,
Oh
like
yeah.
I tell people like, if you want to come on here, I'll fuck you up. I'm one of the guys.
Go
like, a lot of our
half mast.
guys are a lot more professional. Yeah, dude, you go from 6 to 12 easy. And, a lot of our guys are real professional. I'm one of like the more loose cannon type guys. So I will do a lot of things that we're not supposed to and tell people like a lot of things I'm not supposed to. So I'll tell somebody, look, man, if you don't fucking get out of here, I'm going to tase your ass. I'm going to fucking love it. And we're not supposed to shit like that, you know, but I have. And so I'm the taser. We're not supposed to show our gear. I'll fucking open my coat up. They're like, look, there it is. I will light you up.
Dude, you're like the Mike Tyson of bodyguards. You know, it's like, dude, I'll fuck you till you love me.
That's it. It's not like a lot of action, but it's when we do have action, it's a lot of fun. Most of the shit we do is medical, so it's like they put me because I'm a bigger dude. I'm 6'1", 240. They put me like the bad sides, quote unquote. So the site I was at, we had an incident happen almost daily, and it's either a fucking bomb comes on. I've had guys like chase me with syringes because they were shooting up and they got mad. I kicked them out of the bushes.
Jeez.
I've caught guys jerking off in the stalls.
Yeah.
You know, I've had.
I mean, who doesn't do that?
You know, that's a good time.
did you have to clean up after them?
Oh, I don't touch that shit, dude.
Call hazmat.
Yeah, I don't pick up syringes. I don't do any of that stuff. There was an instance where, so I'm doing rounds, right? I'm walking around the building, making sure everything's safe because there's a lot of transients in my area. And someone starts screaming, like down, like a block from where I'm at. So I run over to the end of the corner, and this guy is just pounding the fuck out of this girl. Like it's a cul-de-sac, and in the cul-de-sac, it's the exit for the freeway. And this guy is just sitting here blasting this fucking chick like End of Watch, exactly like that in End of Watch.
Oh my
So I'm
god!
running over there. Yeah, I'm running over there thinking like this guy's gonna fucking kill this girl. And so I yell, "Hey!" And I pull my taser. I'm running over there. This guy takes off, jumps on a bike, and fucking takes off. So he had, from the time that I heard him scream, heard someone scream, and got over there, he had dragged this girl, I thought it was a girl, into the middle of the street, and was just sitting there just blasting away on this thing. So I get there, and I realize that they're transients, and I'm not going to fucking touch this thing because the last transient I heard about had AIDS, and a friend of mine had worked on him. And luckily they put all their gloves on and shit. But I was like, I'm not getting AIDS for anybody. So
Not even a little, just a little AIDS?
not even a little touch, yeah. So I run out to to within 20 feet of this person, and I realized, oh, it's not a girl, it's a fucking dude in drag.
Oh.
And so I'm like, hey, are you alive? And this chick just like looks up. She's a fucking bloody mess. I call her a chick. I guess it's respectful. I don't know. Yeah, Chuck. Yeah. So she drags herself over to the end. I call the police and call it, EMS. They come and check her out. But she was fucking jacked up. And it's just shit like that every day. It's just stuff like that. You never know what's going to happen. We get ODs all the time, panic attacks on the regular, to the point where I don't even call the ambulance anymore for a panic attack. I'm just like, you know what? You're going to pass out, and then you'll be fine, and you can go back to do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how common this shit is. You know what I mean? So it depends on the day. It's never, it's always something different. Now we got all these active shooter things where everyone's scared of the fickle people coming in and shoot up to school. And I carry. A lot of our guys carry. So it's not like we can't, defend ourselves. But it's just, it's a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. You get the awards and all that stuff, and you meet stars, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I think I know what you mean about all these creepy people. I've been at Walmart after 2:00 in the morning, so I think I feel it.
Yeah, those are the worst. You're at Walmart at 2 a.m. to get two things. You're either there to find food or someone to rob, or to get condoms. Dude, that's the only two things you should do.
What is it about Walmart? Seriously, what is it about Walmart that brings out the worst in a community? We just moved up to Zumi, where I live now, up on the South Hill in Spokane. Yeah. And it's weird going from apartment living up to a nice where the doctor's kids live. It's weird going up from that because there's no Walmarts here. And everything closes at 11 or by 11. Even the Walgreens closes by 11. It's weird. Wow. I was pissed because I get off of work at 10:30 at night, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go pick up diapers. I'm going to go to Walgreens because it's right there on the road that I got to get down to go home. And I pull in and everything's dark. I'm like, the fuck? This is fucking Walgreens. But now, you live in the I'm not even rich. I'm like the odd man out. You should see our next door neighbor. He's like this private contractor, and he's, bought his house at auction and made it look like a $400,000 home. And, here I am, this jag-off, who moves in right next door to him. But, where can I apply to be what you are?
Oh, man, I'll send you a link. You'll love it. I'll send you a link.
Yeah, I don't know if my wife would be too excited about it, but you know what? Money's money.
Oh, man, I'll put you... And it's really not bad. We've only had one... Actually, we've had no discharges of our firearm. No one has ever shot a gun in the history of our company.
What?
And no one's ever shot. We never needed to.
Taser?
And taser we have used.
I'm okay with that.
Mace we have used.
I'm okay with that too.
And we've arrested a bunch of people. Normally, if you see a taser come out, like me, if you took out a taser, I'll suck your dick. I will grab the balls. I just don't tase me. It is the worst fucking thing on earth.
I have accidentally tased myself once.
Have you really?
Yeah, I think I told the story on this podcast a while back. But it was, I have a buddy, Curtis, and his older brother, Chad, used to order stuff in the early days of the internet. He used to just order stuff, and you could get stuff for really cheap on the internet back in the early days of the internet, or at least I would say the early days of DSL, But he ordered one of those those long tasers, like the ones you see in Jurassic Park, with the prongs at the end,
the fucking cattle prod,
and it's got the two switches on it. It's got an arm and then the trigger. And he left the arm button on, and my dumbass grabbed it from the prong side. So the prong was up here, and I grabbed the hilt, and I hit the trigger, and luckily it didn't hold me. It popped my arm back, and dude, that shit was so painful. I almost peed myself. It scared the shit out of me.
I was gonna ask you if you pissed yourself.
About that close. Maybe a little dribble, but
You remember Sergeant Hewitt?
Oh my God, who doesn't remember Sergeant Hewitt?
I think I've told this story. So I haven't told you this story, but we had this staff sergeant. He's just a funny motherfucker, and he didn't give a shit about stuff, right? But he was telling the story that his sister was a cop, and he came over and was just like, "Hey, is that a taser?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Does that thing really work?" He's like, "Oh yeah, this shit will make you piss your pants." And she just pulled the sucker out and just went buzz. It just dropped him. And then he's like, "Yeah, like it's like fucking sister, like just like." All of a sudden, I just heard, bzz, and I just felt like this sharp pain in my neck.
Fire.
And I just opened my eyes, and I'm on the floor. And he's like, and then I look down. I fucking pissed my pants.
I will say, being electrocuted like that, the feeling is, I don't know, it's akin to like a vibrating fire within your nerves. That's all I can describe it like.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. It feels like the inside of you is exploding. It hurts.
Oh, it's like riding that bad boy for five seconds.
No.
Full 5 seconds.
Mm-mm.
Feels like a fucking lifetime.
No, that sounds terrible. I'm not going to do that.
So have you been tased, Solomon?
Yeah. I had to get tased.
Is that for training or?
Well, I'm one of the instructors for taser. So all the instructors have to go through like an instructor course, and at the end you get tased. So they give you the option of getting shot at with the taser with the two little needles, like little hooks, and then it sticks into you and you get shocked, or they clip it to you with like a little clip and then just set it off. But it's a full 5 seconds, and it's bad, man.
And does it feel like 5 minutes?
Did you try and fight it like that, like Galifianakis in that movie? What was that movie?
There's no fighting it, man. There's no fighting it. As soon
in the face.
Yeah, as soon as it hits you, your whole body is. It's like having one large cramp in your body. You're like the most tense you've ever been, and you just drop. Like you can't hold yourself up, and people like lower you to the floor, and then as soon as the 5 seconds is up, which feels like fucking forever, you're just exhausted. Like there's no more fighting you left.
Well, yeah, it's like it's almost like having a seizure, right? I mean, because like people that have seizures,
exactly.
like you just everything tenses up. So when they actually do get to, and when they release, they're just done for the day. It's like, nope,
that's
time
it.
to take a nap.
Yeah.
Did you piss your pants?
No, I didn't. Actually, I didn't.
But you also made sure not to drink any water 5 hours before.
Yeah, I didn't do that either. Yeah, no, I didn't eat anything before that. I was afraid I was going to throw up
or shit your pants.
Did anybody else piss their pants?
No one did. No, it was good. Yeah.
Oh, that would have been funny. He's
That's
like, yeah,
boring.
I didn't.
Yeah, I would love to have said, yeah, everyone, shit themselves, but no, nothing like that, unfortunately.
So,
awful.
Dude, I don't want to get tased.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a good day.
It's a lot of fun. It's shitty, but it's a lot of fun.
I think I'd rather go through the gas chamber again.
Fuck, dude, I don't know. I think I'll take a tase.
I don't know. The gas chamber, at least from what I remember. Now, this was also when did I do the gas chamber? 2003. Dude, that was a long fucking time ago.
It was. Yeah.
Wow.
So 4 for me. But so have you? I mean, I remember you told me that kicking out a bum like in the office. Did you ever have to pull the fucking taser gun and be like, get out of here, bitch?
You know what? Like before I pull a taser, I'll just fuck him up, like hand to hand. I'm a big dude. I'm like a really aggressive guy, and so when I tell people to do things, they don't really fight me on it, and I get in their face. Like I'll shove them around a little bit. Now if it's like a big guy, we did have a guy to where this guy, he was 6'4", like 350.
Oh, that's all.
And that's it. Yeah, an average size guy. And he had a mean streak in him, and they were gonna fire him or kick him out of the building. They're like, we need you to be there in case he goes off the deep end. And at that time, I had my taser ready. I thought he was just gonna flip out, and I was just gonna have to fucking drop him. But yeah, normally I've never pulled it out. I've never had to. I pulled my mace out before, and I threatened some people with mace. That got them motivated to go. I've physically thrown people out. I've had people come in and lay on the floor and just fucking start crying like hysterically. That was cool. What else?
Wait, they just lay on the floor crying?
Yeah, this it's a funny story. This chick comes up to the door, and I'm like in the main lobby area of like, you know, our building. And so I have all my cameras up, and I'm watching this girl like come up the ramp, and she's literally dancing up the ramp. And she like the last like 15 feet, she turns around and moonwalks to, like our main doors.
Was it a good moonwalk?
And, it was decent. Okay. You know, it was pretty decent. Yeah. So I'm like, this is gonna be fun. And so she comes in and she's like, "Hey, I need to talk to so and so." And I'm like, "What? Like, who are you? Like, what do you want?" And she's like, "Oh, she's like, I'm God," or she said, she's on a good one. She was living life to the absolute fullest. I can't knock her for that. Bless her heart. So I get her like a little form, because we're not supposed to turn anyone away if they want to talk to somebody. And so I give her like a form to fill out, and she is going to town on this form. It's like 3 things, like your name, a phone number, and like an email address, you know, like why you're there. And this bitch is like writing a novel, and she's making like really exaggerated movements. And I'm like, what the fuck is she writing? So I'm like, "Hey, can I see your form?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "Okay, well then you got to get out." I'm like, I didn't want to mess with this chick. So I'm like, "You got to get out." And she's like, "No." And she's like, she bumps me, lays on the floor, and just starts bawling hysterically. You know, it's like pounding her like hands and feet. And for a second there, I wanted to grab her foot and just drag her out like a fucking kid. But there was people around, so I ended up having to.
That sounds like dealing with kids in the grocery store.
It's exactly like that. I don't know. Like, the only thing is, I don't know what these people have. I don't like touching them because I don't know if they have like needles on them. A lot of these guys, I find needles all the time. So I don't know if these guys like have needles. They want to fucking stab me with them. So because of that, I'm usually more aggressive than I probably should be. So what I did was I jammed my knee to the back of this chick's neck, and someone's getting robbed. So I jammed my knee to the back of her neck. I twisted her arm up onto her back, and just walked her out with it. But that's
usually how I deal with things, you know.
Yeah, you know, fuck them. And kicked them out. Yeah, I'm like, "Hey, you come back here, I'm going to arrest you," and you know, it won't be pretty.
Yeah, there's something about needles that just I don't know. There's a lot of disgusting things in this world, but needles, like, you know, syringes and stuff, I can't. I've had the story before where the previous job that I held at this employer, you know, I picked up out of a trash can a small duffel bag. It was, you know, just a medium-sized one, and it was pretty heavy, and I luckily had my gloves on, like I had my rubber gloves on, and then I had Teflon gloves over that, and I open up the bag, and it's just full of used needles. I'm like, zip that back up, put it back in the trash, go throw up, take a shower 3 times. And,
yeah. Yeah, the one story with the guy, so I manage like 14 or 15 different sites, and then I assist at about 6 or 7 others, right? I'm one of the managers. So we get there first. We do like a check around the building and inside to make sure everything's clear. This particular site is up in Orange County, and I'm doing my initial walk around the building, and this one is close to like a hospital, like a little clinic. So we have a lot of like transients that go there and frequent the area. And this guy had gotten behind our bush line, which is right next to our building. He'd gotten behind our bush line, and all I saw was like a couple of feet like sticking underneath, right? And so I'm shining my flashlight because it's dark. I'm like, "Hey, whoever's there, you need to come out, or you're going to get shot or maced." And so this guy comes out, and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm just trying to shoot up, you know, like, it's cool." And he's like, "I don't want any problems." I was like, "Yeah, That's cool. Like, do you just do it somewhere else? And like, I'll fucking switch flipped, and he like his eye, like he was half-eyed, you know, and all of a sudden his eyes get like huge, like a fucking owl, and he starts screaming, ah! This fucker starts chasing me with his needle up like it's a you know a big ass knife, and he's chasing me around the parking lot, you know, and I'm trying to get far enough ahead of him to where I can have enough time to turn around, pull my taser or my gun, and shoot him. And luckily he kept running straight, and I ran away, scared the fuck out of me.
He was going after the unicorn.
Oh, he was on a good one. Yeah, he was riding it. Yeah.
At least he was honest, man. Like, I'm just trying to shoot up, man.
hey, we're both guys here. Yeah, I mean, come on, we're both humans. You know, just let me shoot up.
Yeah. You know, do me a solid. Give me a couple minutes.
It's like he was telling you, like he's just going to use the bathroom real quick. You're like, I just got to go pee. You know, it's not a big deal.
That's it. Yeah.
So Lonnie, Solomon actually met Shane when we actually went golfing together, right?
We went golfing,
Fuckers in golf.
Sorry, dude. Like it's such an amazing sport. You should get into it, Lonnie.
You should.
But did you listen to Shane's?
I did.
Episode?
That awful quality, but fantastic. I thought it was a good episode despite the quality. So I'm still working on trying to fix that. Like, no shit. I have it in a saved Audacity folder. Like, still trying to line everything up because I want it to be better quality, but you know, whatever.
So you haven't heard those stories, right? When we went golfing, he didn't tell any of these stories, right?
No. All he told us was, all he told me was that he had worked for Playboy Bunny as one, you know, their golf director, and we wanted. I told him, hey, like if you ever need someone to golf with you in those tournaments, you know, I'm that guy. I'll help you out. And it's funny because we used to work at the Playboy Mansion before, you know, like a few years back. And they were one of our clients, and I probably could have seen them there at one point. You know, they've been kind of fun. But yeah, no, I've never heard any of those stories. It was really fun. I actually listened to that episode, I think, twice.
Oh my gosh!
It was fun, dude.
It's an avid fan, which is kind of weird that we actually have like a fan slash.
Like I was saying
friend.
before, and like before we started recording, and Zumi so kindly cut me off and told me to save it. You know, I'm going to say it now. I deeply appreciate our fans because they're the weirdest fans in all of podcastdom, and our fans have this weird tendency to, like, you know, not just listen to like the latest episodes, but they go back and they like when I'm watching the numbers, like I'm looking at the stats and everything, like you'll see the new one, it'll pop up, and then like a couple days later, like 13 episodes back, like it starts getting downloads, like. And it was just some random one that was like a half an hour. It's like, why? But I really do appreciate our fans. And you're one of them. So it's kind of cool. We get to actually talk to one of our weird fans who actually enjoys listening to us. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. You know, I like the podcasts that don't have like a specific avenue they're going in. They just talk about whatever, just random shit, you know. And I've been, you guys listen to it a lot. And Bill Burr and Joe DeRosa, they had a podcast back in the day called Uninformed. I was talking to Zumi about it. And those guys are hysterical. I love Bill Burr as a comedian. And he's exactly same way on the podcast. Just hysterical. Yelling, cursing, talking about just nonsense.
I will say on Bill Burr's podcast, some of the best moments is when he has his wife on.
Yeah.
What's her name? Mia?
Mia, yeah.
And yeah, I'm just afraid. I'm hoping that nothing comes out and Bill Burr doesn't get accused of jacking off in front of people.
I would believe it. I would absolutely believe it.
Dude, that's what I was telling Justin. Like, dude, if something comes out and it involves Bill Burr, like, that's it. I'm done with this world. I'm done with fucking humanity. I will not believe in humanity anymore.
So you'd go with me on the spaceship up to Mars?
Yes, yes, I'm done.
Take a little trip. You know what? If like coming like military side, with all this shit like that's happened, to me, I think it's fucking hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a different view on the whole like Weinstein and all the other shit. To me, it's like all these people that are all the girls that are coming out now, they're like multimillionaires. It's like, oh, my life is so hard. I had to, touch his dick or blow him or whatever. I'll fucking suck his dick right now for a couple million.
I don't know. He's pretty
it's
fugly.
He is. Fuck. I'll turn off the lights. No,
you got to put the contract on the headboard, like Bill Burr says. Like with an old woman, you got to put the will on the headboard.
Yeah, it's like fuck. It's not that big of. Maybe it is a big deal because there's a lot of chicks, but it's like no one made you do that. You wanted to do it because you wanted to get rich, and you got rich. Get over it.
I'm kind of wondering if that's what that whole like he was. I'm wondering if Weinstein was actually the one responsible for a lot of those. I guess nude photos came out like all at once. Like they had like oh god, I'm trying to remember because I didn't see this, but they had like Jennifer Lawrence and a bunch of other actresses and stuff like that all at once. Like someone had got into the server and found all these photos. I'm wondering if it was that guy that had like all these like casting couch moments, and like that's how you become an actress. But
that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Ah, good times. What a world we live in.
You think it's the same? You think it's the same thing for guys?
Yes.
Like,
absolutely.
You really think so? Like, there's like you gonna be famous? All right, Brad Pitt, suck this dick.
Well, especially like the newer actors. Like you see, typically like the newer actors are like more good-looking guys. It's not like back when we were kids when it was like Steve Martin and Dan Aykroyd and stuff like that. And then, well, I guess Clint Eastwood was a pretty good-looking dude, but in like a rustic way.
Okay.
But I still think it happens for the dudes, or at least they're expected to take part in some portion of it.
Yeah,
it has to be, right?
Yeah,
you can't just be in that world and not know.
I think you have to know, or turn a blind eye to it.
Yeah, and it's probably like. The 80s where everybody knew that cocaine was like a big portion of the movie industry. And it's probably like the same thing. Everybody knows it's happening.
Yeah. I don't know, but maybe.
Like we know, whatever.
We got Ray Donovan here to tell us, like, does it?
Ray Donovan.
Does it happen? Saul Donovan.
It does happen. It does happen quite a bit, and we have some guys that are really uncomfortable with that kind of stuff and won't work with certain clients because of it. Or
I mean, what can you do? I mean, it's a fucking client. He's free to do whatever the fuck they want, right?
I mean, technically, they tell them up front, like, hey, nothing illegal. Our guys aren't gonna beat up anybody for you. And we're not, if anything illegal does happen, they have to report it. So us, as we call ourselves protectors, we tell our leadership, and then it's kind of like, okay, well, do you want to leave that client or what do you want to do? Because they're not going to drop the client. You know what I mean?
Right.
We had a guy that his first like field detail was a party. And it's one of our clients that is known to have amazing parties. And I was fortunate enough to do one of his parties for Halloween a couple years ago. And so this he's real Christian, real, church on Sunday and that kind of guy. And so he goes to this party and he's doing like rounds on the interior to make sure, nothing crazy is going on. And he's checking these rooms, and every room he checks, it's like a fucking orgy going on. Mm-hmm. And that really messed him up, like really bad. So the next day, he's like, I can't be involved with a company like this, and just like quit on the spot because every room he went into was like, a bunch of dudes, and it was like a bunch of chicks, and a bunch of everybody, and he couldn't get down like that. And I was like, fuck, that would have been great. Like, put me there. I'll just go around. Watch it. No?
I would have been like, I would have been like, so you're quitting because you can't? It was like, no, I'm quitting because I didn't get invited. I'm offended.
I want that guy. Yeah.
I'm offended because nobody said like, dude, you want to take part? You want to partake in the spit roast? I'm like, yes, I do.
See, I'm sheltered. I would have been scared.
It's good, man. And they invite you in. Like, hey, you want to come join? And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go check this next room. I'll be back. Then
I'm on the clock for the next 30 minutes, and then I'll come back.
Yeah.
Nobody move.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, that's funny. So I actually made my dad listen to the podcast, Lonnie.
Oh my God. How did that go?
Well, I made him listen to the best episode ever, right?
Which one was that?
Shane's stories, of course.
Okay.
Dude, he was cracking up. He was like, did he really like rip you a new one? I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, he did. Like, that was the light version when I told him like that, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? It was actually a little bit more harsh than that, but I'm like, yeah, he chewed my ass.
Now, my dad does listen regularly. Dad, if you're listening, I'm sorry for all the curse words. Now, you and I tend to be a little bit more conservative in our views, Zumi.
Yeah.
My father's a little bit more liberal in his views, so it's sometimes it's kind of difficult to talk to him like about what happened on the podcast. But the first thing that my dad said to me is he goes, "You say a lot of curse words on that." I'm like, yeah, that happens. You're like, okay. And then that was it. It's like, well,
he just walked away.
Now, like when he said that, I'm like, oh, he actually listens, But, oh, yeah. I'm just glad that, like, my grandmother, isn't around so she can listen to it. You and I can never do politics. No. Never going to happen.
Dude, it's just, maybe I should just, like, confess, like, right now. Like, just take it all out, because that way later on...
Oh, you mean, like, go the Trump route?
No,
and just not give a fuck.
Because if we ever like become big, like all of a sudden, like, oh, now Zumi and Lonnie accused of sexual harassment. Like, it's just like, let's just hire family members and just get it out there. I grew up in Mexico. Shit went down here. Okay, like just get it out.
Donkey shows and anything you can think of.
Sol knows. I mean, Sol's been to Adelitas, right?
No, I've never been.
Yeah,
we went over.
You.
No. We went. Remember, we had this conversation. I have never been to a whorehouse in the States or in Mexico. It's always been overseas.
No, I thought you said like that one time. You said like, I'm going to Mexico and we're gonna go to the Adelitas, and
you were supposed to take me. You were supposed to take me.
Shit.
This is pre-marriage.
That was going to be.
Do I need to mediate this, guys?
That was going to be your first time at Adelitas, really? I thought you've been there before.
No. I know of it. I've heard of it.
Oh, hold on. Axel, levántate a vomitar.
Oh shit! He's bringing out the Spanish.
And we're back. Sorry about that.
So, yeah. So, I've never been to Adelitas. I've been to a lot of whorehouses, all over, in my travels all over the world. And I had a great time at all of them. Bless their hearts.
What was the nastiest one that you went to? The one that you just say, like, you know what? Here, I fucked up my fucking Nessie. Nessie monster.
Okay.
Because I know everybody has a fucking Nessie monster. I have a Nessie monster.
I have Nessies without being in a whorehouse, dude. Just regular girls. I have Nessies. But one time,
be crazy.
It's just. I'll tell two stories. So this is the whorehouse. So I was in Okinawa, and in Okinawa there's it's Kadena Air Base, so it's for you guys.
Yep.
Outside of Gate 3, if you go out there, there's an alley they call Whisper Alley, and it's legit like red lights. Like, that's all there is red lights. And these little huts along this alley, and they really whisper when you're walking through. So you're walking through, and all you hear is, "Psst, hey, GI, you come quickie." Yeah, like nothing back in Nam, you know. And we'd gone out partying that night, and I was fucking trashed. And so my buddy goes, "Hey, let's go down Wisp Rally." So I'm like, well, whatever, let's do it. And so we're walking. I hear a couple of pss, 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 and he disappears. I'm like, well, fuck, I'm out here by myself. This is kind of creepy. So the next one that whispered to me, I was like, okay, I'll just go with them. And ended up being this like old ass mama-san. She had to been like in her 50s. She was way overweight.
That's hot.
And, it was the best. She was a plump little thing. So I was so jacked up on whiskey, my dick probably didn't even work. But she gave me the egg timer special, man. I go in this little hut, and it's literally like a mat on the floor. I don't know how much semen was on there before me. And yeah, man, I plugged I did my best on this little old mom song for like 15 minutes. And I it was what it was. It was a good time.
It was what it was.
My girl just walked in, looked at the fucking crazy guy, and yeah, I know. Explain that one later.
How much do they charge, like over there?
It was I think it was like 200 yen. I don't remember what the rate is. It's probably
$2.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
like over here, like at Adelaide's. Last time I went, just fuck. I've been 7, so it had to be like 7 years, almost 8 years ago. They would charge it's $60 for 30 minutes, and then you had to pay for the room. So it ends up being at like 110, like overall. Like to go fuck a really hot chick for 30 minutes, like $110. And yeah, I mean you just go to the bar. They'll have like the girls dancing and stuff, but it's the pole dancing is just secondary. So you pay a cover charge, and that gives you 2 beers. So you pound your 2 beers, and then you pick the girl that you want, and then you just like you don't even have to make small talk. You just say you, me, upstairs, like let's go.
I like caveman speak.
No, yeah, like the first time I went, my friend Jonathan took me. And I picked this skinny little thing. Like, I mean, like she used to be like a 90 pounder, right? Because I wanted my dick to feel big, And
so she was only like 3'4", right?
No, she was more like
at least 18, Zumi.
Just like 4'9", 5'0", something like that. I don't know. She might have been 17 for all I know. Like at the time, I didn't fucking care. I was with 22, 23 or whatever.
Oh, you're a stud.
And so I went, and I remember like you still gotta walk. You gotta walk outside of the bar, and then you just make an immediate left turn, and there's like a door to go upstairs to the room, and it's like the longest fucking walk of my life, dude. Because you're just walking, the girl already knows her like way, and you're just like, this is my first time doing something like this. Oh my god! And then you got everybody else like coming out as well, right? So there's cross traffic. It's not like there's like a discrete way out or a way in. So you have all these like American guys and old dudes or whatever, and they're just walking, they're just like looking at you, looking at the girl that you have, and like
is there any high fives been going on? Like high fives?
Almost like this guy just like I thought he was staring me down, right? And he's just like, "You're such a lucky man." I'm like, "Holy shit!"
Like, a little creepy, dude.
I'm just like, "Oh my god." So you just go in, and they have a bed, and it has like, like some fucking sheets so you don't mess the place up, and the girl just says, "Take your clothes off," and she comes in, and she does like the traditional, condom in the mouth type thing, and starts giving you head for a while, and then you just fuck her brains out, and that's it.
Awesome. That's awesome.
You don't have to know her name. You have to make small talk. You just go in, fuck, come, and all right, I guess that's it. But you pay up front. That's the only thing. You pay up front. So
I think I've always paid up front. I don't think there's a spot where you
capitalism.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you get a dead fish, it's not like you can be like, I didn't like the service.
Yeah.
Can I get a refund?
You do it on Yelp, right?
Give them a review.
Yeah. Give them a 1 star.
but I'm sorry, dude. I didn't know that was gonna be like your first time in Adelitas. I would have made it a priority. Seriously, to take you down there.
Yeah, it was
Because we were both single at the time too.
Oh yeah, dude, I was out there. I was beasting it, man. It was bad. I didn't need it. I may or may not have gone. I might have gone just for the experience, but I had just got out of my relationship with my ex, and dude, I was all over the place. I'm shocked. I'm truly shocked. I've never caught anything as much tail as I've gotten, and not just here, dude. Like all over the world. I've beat so much cheeks, and I rarely use condoms. I like to pride myself on being able to see a girl and know she's clean.
That sounds safe.
It sounds safe. It's worked every time. Like I've gotten the board punched. You know, I've gotten the test done where they stick that fucking giant Q-tip.
Oh yeah, good times, right?
Oh, dude, it's the best. Everyone should do it, you know, for an experience.
I feel like there should be a sound like that accompanies that, like a whistle. You know, like
that's fucked up.
Great.
So Okinawa was your Nessie monster.
Okinawa was my whorehouse Nessie monster, and the other story I was going to tell. So I got stationed after boot camp, after all the schools and stuff. I got stationed in North Carolina, in Cherry Point, North Carolina, and my roommate at the time, I'd been there maybe 6 or 7 months. I just bought a car. I was mobile, and my roommate didn't have a car yet, and he was like a big online guy. So he was online pimping one day and hooked up with this chick, and she told him, hey, come on over, and let's meet, and we'll meet down in I think it was by Camp Lejeune, which was about 45 minutes south. So he was like, hey man, can you give me a ride? She has a friend for us. And I was like, cool. Like, do you know what she looks like? And he showed me a picture of her, and she was super cute. So I was like, okay, well, hopefully her friend is, just as good, or, within the range of okay. So we shoot down there. We go to this mall, and we're going to meet him at the mall. And we're standing there in the front of the entrance, and every like pair of girls that comes by, I'm like, oh, is that her? Is that her? And he's like, no, that's not her. And finally he goes, oh, there they are. I'm like, looking, I'm like, where? And he goes, right there, right in front. I'm like, I don't see him, man. I just see these two ugly chicks coming up. Are they behind them? And that's who it ended up
Shallow
being.
Hal moment.
Oh my God, it was. So
is she behind the rhino?
Is she behind This girl was actually pretty decent, and she's like a former cheerleader, and like the girl that was supposed to be like my friend was like a former like competitive eater.
Oh
and
my God.
So we're walking to the mall, and this chick's trying to get with me, and she's trying to hold my hand. I remember going into Bed Bath & Beyond to buy like some bath bombs just so I can have something to hold, so this chick wouldn't hold my hand anymore. And so then we get done, and I'm like, okay, it was nice meeting you guys. Like, we're gonna bounce. And the girl that my friend had invited us to dinner at her place, and he was like, yeah, heck yeah, we'll go. So I'm like, fuck, okay, well, I guess we're going to go eat dinner now. So he ends up driving with her, and the other girl ends up driving with me. And this chick's like drive over my dick on my pants on the way down there. And we're driving through these woods, and it's like what's that movie with like the banjos and shit?
Deliverance.
Deliverance.
It's like going to Deliverance, it's like
Squeal, boy.
Woods on both sides. We end up going to this trailer park, which looks like something out of a horror movie.
Oh, great!
And there's literally like old junk cars sporadically sprayed about. Like it's a mobile home park, but not the nice ones. Like these are fucked up. And so we get there, and she's making chicken, and my buddy goes, "Hey man, can I borrow your car?" And I'm like, "For what?" And he goes, "Well, she needs milk for the baby and some like flour for the chicken." And I told her I'd get it. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So he takes off, and he goes to buy groceries for this girl he just met, and comes back. I'll cut the story short. So we ended up eating dinner, which was actually really, really fucking good. And we're waiting there like in the living room, and we're hanging out, and it's getting late. It's about maybe midnight now. We're watching TV. And so the girl goes, oh, I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. and she takes off into her bedroom. And so I'm looking at him, and the girl that was, the friend is looking at him, and she goes, well, that means follow her. So he goes into the bedroom. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that's done. She's going to go to her room. I'm going to chill out here and just pass out, and this fucking nightmare will be over. And no, I'm like, I asked her, I'm like, okay, so are you going to go to your room? I'm getting kind of tired. I'm going to fall asleep. And she goes, oh, this is where I sleep. I sleep on the living room.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, fuck me, right? Okay, great. So, so we're laying down. And at first, we're laying on this couch, and I'm literally plastered against the back of the couch because the cushions were still there. This chick has like backed it up onto me, and so I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, I'm gonna move these cushions out of the way, make a little more room, and I'm gonna fall asleep. And in that movement, we ended up somehow making out. Somehow, I don't know. And I'm like, all right, well, fuck it. Like, I'm already here. You know, let's just get something out of it as well. As bad as it's gonna be. So we start fucking right there in the living room, right? And at the time, I think I was 20. I was 20. So I'm young. I'm virile. I'm up. It's full midnight right now, and I'm just pounding away at this girl. Like, literally, I wanted to just get my nut and just spray this girl down and then go to sleep. You know, I didn't care if she got hers or not. And so I'm
so gentlemanly.
Oh, dude, I'm a great date. I'm literally, like, blasting this chick as hard as I can, and maybe 30 seconds in, I start like noticing something. Like, I'm getting wafts of like a foul odor, you know,
Oh.
and it caught me by surprise, right? Like, it fucked my stroke up for a minute, and so maybe another 30 seconds in, I'm getting like a more consistent stream. And all I can describe it is, like in the cartoons, they got like green gas.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's how I can describe it. You know, it's just like floating around the room, and it finally hits my nostrils. And I realized, like, this chick, like, she's just fucking, she stinks. She smells like hot garbage or garbage like on a hot summer day. And the longer I'm blasting away, the worse it's getting, and it's getting really, really bad. And the only way I'm keeping it up is, one, you know, just pure virality, I guess I should say, and the fact that I'm just going like 110%, like it's like a sprint, you know, like I'm getting that lactic acid build up in my lungs, my chest is on fire. Finally, I'm dripping sweat. I'm literally like dripping onto this girl. I'm like, look, I'm fucking exhausted. I can't do this anymore. Like, you need to get on top. And when we go out there. Hold on, my wife just walked in. I don't want to.
So fucked up.
And people say chivalry is dead.
She just flipped me off as she went out. So she gets up on top, and at that point, like, it's just like heating up, and it's in my face, and it's just like a direct stream into my nose, and I couldn't do it. I went soft like 3 times, you know. She did her best. She tried to do, you know, try to blow me the whole 9, but it just wasn't happening. And I went to bed with like the biggest nuts I've ever had. Like, they were so blue and large and bulbous. It was the worst night. And the next day, my buddy didn't even get laid. He just like fooled around and then fell asleep, and I ended up kicking his ass because of the shit that I went through for him. So, yeah, that was.
Did you ever find out what was that smell from?
It was her. What do you mean?
But did you have like a fucking yeast infection or something like that, dude?
Oh.
I don't know. I didn't stick around. I got up early, and he came out. I got up early. I was like, we got to go now. And we just left, man. Like, I never talked to that girl again. I didn't know what was going on down there. She was baking sourdough, but dude, it was bad. It was super bad.
I have to warn you that now this has been recorded. She knows this story too, and there's a possibility you could be found.
I hope she hears this. I hope she listens to it. and she changes her ways. Motivation.
It's called, maybe, this reminds me, maybe we should get a sponsor from Irish Spring.
There you go.
There we go. This would have been a perfect commercial, Zumi.
I know, right?
Irish Spring.
Oh, fuck.
Good
Dude,
Lord.
that's messed up, though. I don't know how you managed to, like, keep going at it.
Oh, dude, I was young. I was young, and I was like, I'm gonna conquer this beast. And I almost did.
You're like Gandalf fighting the Balrog.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. It was me against her, and I wanted to win, and I did my best. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You wanted to win.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's messed up.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Well, Zumi, where are we at right now? How are we doing, bud? About an hour and 5.
Well, yeah,
We're doing great.
no, we're doing. It's great timing, dude.
Yeah.
It just the thing is, like, I'm looking at the watch. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, we started so fucking late trying to set this thing up.
Yeah. This is because of my inexperience as a producer. Zumi as the director, you should have this shit tightened down. But,
Yeah, it's your fault, Zoom.
I do have a golf story. Well, actually, Solomon has a golf story. I know you don't care, Lonnie, but I know some of our listeners are golfers.
Oh, can I leave?
But yeah, that's your cue to leave. But do you want to tell that story when you almost got fucking killed that guy?
Oh my God, this guy. So we had just literally that week or the week before we had a legal class, right? It's part of our studies about the legalities of people getting sued and things like that. So we had a class about, can you get sued if you get hit or hurt on the golf course? And the answer is no. There's when you step on the golf course, you assume the risk that you may get hit by a golf ball because of the sport. So we're golfing. Where were we at? RB, Rancho Bernardo?
I think so.
So at this golf course, there's a blind, low leaning or low curving to the left hole, right? So it's over a hill and it goes down and it kind of curves to the left a little bit. And there's a little periscope looking thing at the tee box, so you can see out and who's there, just to make sure it's safe. So we had seen this group of 3 or 4 guys. They were older guys, tee off. And so we waited around maybe 10 minutes. It was more than enough time for them to get out of the way. And I forget who checked the boxes. I think it was a group of me, you, and do you remember who else was there, Zumi?
I think Frank and somebody else. I can't remember.
Okay. Yeah, it was a group of 4 of us. And someone checked the little box to see if they were gone, and we didn't see anybody. So Zumi goes, Frank goes, the other guy in our group goes, and I'm the last one to hit. And I hit this thing so pure and so good, it felt like Jesus had swung on this ball. And dude, you just see this ball. I'm like, I crushed this fucking ball. It had to have gone 340. It just sailed through the air. It's beautiful. And so we're driving up. We get in our golf carts. We drive up to the top of the hill, and we see a golf cart coming up at us. As we get to the top, and we're like, "What the fuck?" So this guy comes up and he's like, "You hit our guy. He's down right now. He's down there and he's hurt." And I'm like, "Oh man, I'm really sorry. I thought you guys were gone. We checked. We really apologize. I hope he's okay." And I thought that was going to be it. He was going to turn around. He said his piece and he was going to leave. And he goes, "I'm a lawyer. I'm going to sue you. I want your name." And that pissed me off because I don't like being threatened by anybody. So I was like, "Look, I'm really sorry you guy got hit, but don't try and scare me. You're not going to sue me. It is what it is. Sorry. Go away." And he's like, "No, fuck that. I'm a lawyer. I'm going to sue you. I know the law." I'm like, "Well, the law says you can't sue us. You assume the risk when you get here. I'm sorry I hit your guy, but you're not going to do anything. So go away." And this guy turns off. He ended up picking up my ball and taking it. It was a really nice ball. I think he took my ball. But Yeah, I guess I don't know if I knocked that dude out. I never saw him again. I didn't see him ahead of us.
No, you did. Like the ambulance showed up.
Oh my god!
Yeah, there was an ambulance there.
I mean, I've been hit by a ball before. It fucking hurts, man. If I cracked this guy in the head, he could have died. I don't know. So there you go. I may have killed somebody, Lonnie. As your question in the beginning.
Well, good job, Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. No, but it was a really beautiful shot, and like this guy just comes up saying like, you know, I'm a lawyer, I'm gonna sue you, and yada yada yada. And Solomon's just like, you can't do that. It's like we just fucking had a class about this in golf school. Like you can't.
My
fucking
teacher said you can't, so I know law.
Like you know how they have those signs, Lonnie, like of like the houses that if you break a glass or whatever or like a window, like that you assume responsibility for. Like they can't even do that. They can't force you to pay that.
Yeah. Well,
because you took the fucking risk. You don't live next to a fucking golf course.
You can just say to the guy, you know, dead people don't sue anyone.
Yeah, baby. But it's
I love that.
I mean, it's etiquette, right? Like the etiquette would be like, hey, I'll offer to pay half. I wouldn't offer to pay like the entire thing, but that's just etiquette. But I don't know. But this guy was just like after blood when his friend got hit in the fucking head. But it's like, dude, don't fucking play slow.
He's trying to be a good wingman.
Yeah.
He came at me wrong. Like, you don't come at somebody like that. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't do that. I would come up there apologetically and say, you know what? Hey, one of you guys hit our guy and he's hurt. Oh, you know what? Hey, I'm really sorry about that. I hope he's okay. But no, he came at me screaming, yelling. I didn't like the way he came at me.
I didn't like his tone.
Yeah. He offended me.
Yeah. Fucking people. Especially older people. Have you noticed that? Like the older
this guy was pretty old. So
it just seems like the older I get, the more cranky like elderly people get. I love elderly people. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, you know, but sometimes
a lot of racism.
Yeah. I'm not going to get into that story, but so you've been in South Carolina, did you say?
North Carolina. I've been to South Carolina, okay. But yeah, I've been stationed in North Carolina.
Well, I've noticed that when I was in Georgia, you know, that segregation is alive and well, but it's by choice.
Yeah, they still, you know, it's little groups will do their own thing, and they'll just kind of separate themselves.
Yeah, I went into I don't know what the name of the restaurant was, but we went into a restaurant, you know, like how you usually had, like back in the day, it was, you know, like the smoking section, the non-smoking section, and they'd ask you up front, you know, This was a little different. Like you walk up to the host or the hostess, or this was a dude, and you look at one side of the restaurant and the other side of the restaurant, and here's the whites and here's the blacks.
There you go, a little dark on the
holy
side,
shit. But he didn't ask, you know, like do you want to be with the whites? You want to be with the blacks? You know, but it was he put us in the whites. But
hysterical.
But I've always thought that was amazing. It's like, you know, it's not a law anymore. There's no more Jim Crow, you know, but you know, there's still some of that residual left over.
Oh yeah, they still do it.
Yeah.
They still do it. Cracker Barrel got hit up for that maybe 10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, they had a lawsuit on them because they were putting people in like a black section.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe 10, 15 years ago. Yeah.
Hey,
I love Cracker Barrel. I love eating there. They have good
riddle
food.
me this. How come, okay, you had back in the day, black people were forced to sit on the back of the bus. When I went through high school, only the cool kids sat at the back of the bus. It's kind of a weird change.
Yeah. It's ironic.
Back of the bus sucks. I don't know why everybody liked it. Back of the bus, you know, like you're hitting all the bumps and you're the ones that getting thrown out of your seat and stuff. You know.
Yeah, kids love that shit.
Cool kids are stupid in high school, though. They were the ones that ended up with alcoholism and, you know, got pregnant at like 15 years old. So fuck the cool kids.
Oh, bless her
heart. So I wanted to ask you again about, or something about the high profile people that you work with or for. Now, do these guys, like, do these guys like try and get you to like party with them and stuff, like outside of
No,
the
no,
normal work environment?
dude. Like they don't. We're cool because we're their security, but they don't associate with our kind. There's one of our clients. He's a movie star, and you've seen this. Everyone has seen this guy's movies, and he's really, 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 really nice on film. Like the way he portrays himself is, very philanthropic. And in case your guests don't know what that is, your listeners don't know, it means he gives a lot to people. Philanthropist. And
I love Keanu Reeves.
yeah. Yeah, it's not him. The way he portrays himself, on camera and to the people, to the public, he's like a really nice guy. He cares about people and the whole nine. I met this guy in real life, and he is the biggest piece of shit I've ever met. I have not watched a movie of his since, and the way he treats people, like his staff, is just ridiculous. Like they cannot be around him. They can't speak to him. And if anyone comes around him, he gets furious. It's just such a fucking dick.
Oh, so
and I couldn't
he's
believe
one of those guys that thinks he's God.
Yeah, and it's crazy to see like the switch from what everyone thinks he is, how he is on in real life, because what they see on TV, and it's the exact opposite. But no, like these guys, they know better. When they get the contract, they already know. Like we don't fraternize with them. In my company, it's a big thing. The whole SEAL and what was his wife's name? That model.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I just can't remember her name.
Yeah. So those two, the bodyguard that slept with his wife that made him break up, that was one of our guys.
Oh,
Oh shit!
So, because of like that, not just that, but that was one of the big reasons they're really tightened down on like fraternization policy, and we can't fraternize with the client, any of their staff, or anyone that knows or is related to that client. So it's really, really, really tight as far as what we can and can't do.
okay.
Unless he's drunk and you're a 14-year-old boy.
Unless he's drunk, 14-year-old. Yeah. Casey style.
It's an important distinction.
Yeah.
But he's living as a gay man now, so it's okay.
Dude.
Did he come out as openly gay?
Dude, that's his defense. His defense is, I don't remember the incident, but if I acted like that inappropriately, I apologize. But also keep in mind that I'm a gay man. I'm living my life as a gay man now.
I saw
like that's gonna make it like that doesn't make it pedophilia. Like, dude, like no.
So being gay means you can't control your urges. Like
exactly. That's
I have to get this 14-year-old inside.
That's the defense that he's going with.
Well, did you see that
That's
like
George Takei actually is being accused by like a model, a female model, I think, and he's
but George Takei is like flamboyant gay. What are you talking about?
And the joke was made on Twitter. Like, now George has to admit that he's actually straight. In order to get out of this.
Oh man, that's messed up, dude. I'm telling you, 2017 needs to end. Like no more sexual harassment shit. Like, seriously, this whole Louis C.K. thing it was. I'm in shock.
I can see that though. I can see Louis C.K. just jerking off in front of chicks.
One because he's Mexican, so like it's like he's giving Mexicans a bad rap.
Whoa! Louis C.K.'s Mexican.
Yeah, you didn't know this?
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Yeah,
he's like shockingly white.
I know he's a ginger, which is rare, but he's from, I think, Guadalajara.
Well, you have, what's his name, the boxer. I always forget his name.
Who, Chavez?
He's a ginger.
He's not a ginger.
Not Chavez.
Canelo.
Canelo. You're thinking of Canelo. Yeah, Canelo's a ginger.
Canelo Alvarez. Yeah.
But... yeah, and I think Canelo's from Guadalajara too.
Well, the same thing happens with Mexicans that happens with Native Americans. Like if they mix with white, like their offspring, they look white. It's weird. Like, or they'll have like distinctive, like white qualities. Like my dad is half and half. He's half Choctaw Native American, and like the other half is like a bunch of European. It's kind of weird. And then you have me, you know.
It's like a white dude with a big nose.
I look like this is the biggest one is people say I look like Telly Savalas. And you guys, do you guys even know who the fuck Telly Savalas is?
No,
you do look like him. I looked him up, but you do look like him.
Or
a lot.
Dr. Evil.
Oh, Dr. Okay. Yeah, Dr. I can see Dr. Evil.
But
you're a spitting image of Telly Savalas.
I know. I wanted to hate it until I started doing my Google image search and went, shit. Yeah.
They have that application, right? Where you put your picture in it and it turns you into celebrity. Have you tried that one?
I need to do that.
Is that just like one of those bullshit ones?
Yeah, I don't think I need to do that though. I'm Zumi, you've seen these pictures, right?
I think so.
I don't think I need to change my face in any way. I think I might be his love child.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, man, you might be able to get a check.
Knowing my mother,
go like,
it could be possible.
You'll be like that one chick that was trying to prove that she was Dali's daughter. Yeah. This just happened recently, and so they dug up Dali's grave to get a DNA sample, and it ended up being that she's not Dali's daughter.
It's such a letdown. It's like a boring episode of Maury, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly the thing. It's like all I can think of is like, in the case of Dali,
you are not the mother.
You are not.
Those are some of the greatest compilations I've ever watched on YouTube. Is the "You Are Not the Father" compilations? You ever seen that shit?
Dude,
that's great.
Those are great.
Those are fucking brutal, but they're so funny.
Oh my God. There's nothing more satisfying than watching those dudes find out that they're not the father.
They're all like dancing and shit.
Wouldn't you, after all the shit that those women were talking about him? And the guy's like, yeah,
probably,
I had sex with her. You know, like, that's my crime. But no, that is not my kid. It's like the kid looks like a Nigerian, but the dude's white. It's like, come on.
I know. I like the ones where they have like the guys that's like, well, I mean, the kid kind of looks like me in a way, like, and he's trying to be like old nice, and then they bring out like, you are not, and they're just like, yeah.
I'd say, man, throw a party.
Well, that's the one rule I've heard that makes a lot of sense. If you go onto one of those talk shows and they put you in the soundproof booth, don't come out. Because it's not going to be something good.
It's like Jerry. It's like, we've been dating for 7 years, and I got a confession, babe.
Dude.
I am actually a man.
Like, no, you're not. I'm pretty sure that those ones were all fake. They have to be. There's no way that you're doing that, like on a weekly basis, and not knowing.
I don't know, like, it's the level of white trashiness that's out there, Lonnie. Dude, it'll surprise you.
Yeah, it's pretty high. White trash is.
Yeah, but how do you not know?
That's just like that show. Was it like Teen Mom?
Oh, God,
all those like trashy people. Like you don't think white people get any trashier. I love white people. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like bashing white people. I'm not like one of those people. But fuck, those people make me mad. It's like now they're rich, for just getting knocked up, and they're all like white, like super white trashy. Now they're being more white trashy with money. It's like, fuck, why can I get a deal like that?
At work the other day, we decided to watch just a little bit of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And I blame that show for single-handedly ruining our female youth. I could not believe how bad that show is. Like, I've never actually watched like an extended period of time of that show. And at work, we just decided, like, let's see what all the hype is about. My God. Like, seriously, this is what our teen girls are watching, and they're trying to emulate. That makes me sick to my stomach.
I can't stand that whole family. Or that show.
I like...
she has a nice ass, so.
I like, what's his name? I forget it's not Dan Cummins.
Yeah, I like the video, too.
No,
It's like, I like the video too,
no.
Lonnie.
There's the comedian. I forget his name. It's not. I like Dan Cummins, but it's a different comedian. He says something like, "The Kardashian family motto should be getting black men off since the OJ trial." Yeah.
Love that.
That's pretty
It's
bad.
true. It's true. And it's funny because who's it? Kylie, who's like the younger
Yep.
one, right? They did like all the surgery.
Ugh.
She dates like all the rappers and shit, but these are all ugly ass rappers. Like, if I had money, I could bang a Kardashian
Yeah.
too. You know?
I guess so.
Yeah. She is super hot. She's really annoying, but she is super hot.
Man, just something about her personality just ruins the whole thing for me.
Yeah. I mean, a couple rounds with that wouldn't be
Just
too
keep
bad.
it on mute.
Personality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't say anything.
Keep it
Shut
on
up.
mute.
Just quiet, sweetheart.
Yeah.
So Saul, so you've been Marines, Navy. So which one do you think is nastier?
Oh, dude, Marines for sure. Are you kidding me?
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Navy.
The Marine life is nastier than the Navy life.
As far as what, like, in what sense? What do you mean?
I mean, just make your pick.
Well, let's see. I mean, it's different for me because I've been a Navy reservist for 8 years. I was active duty Marine Corps, so all I know is how we were in the Marines and all the fucking nasty shit we did. You know what I mean? Like, when I was in Iwakuni, Japan, which is mainland Japan. I remember getting a phone call at like 2 a.m, and it was the duty downstairs saying, "Hey, we need you to come downstairs now. We have 2 of your guys here." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck, okay, like, I'm coming down." So I went downstairs, and it's 2 of my guys, and they're butt naked, and they've taken a piss in the hallway, and now they've made a fucking giant slip and slide that they're sliding in their own piss.
Aw.
So it's like, and these 2 guys, I mean, I was like, yeah, sorry, I could see that happening. And, but it's just shit like that. Like, I don't see that. Like, the Navy doesn't have that opportunity because a lot of them are on the boats. I'm not saying that they're not just as nasty, but all I know is the nasty shit that the Marine Corps did.
What about as far as like unity? Do you think? Because one of the things one of the things that we've noticed is, like, for example, like if you ask like somebody in the Army, like, what do you do? They always say, like, I'm a specialist or I'm a whatever. For Air Force, you'll always, if you ask somebody what do you do, they'll tell you their job title. Like, we will tell you, like, I was a boom operator on KC-135s or whatever.
Yeah.
But you ask any Marine what do you do, and they'll always be like, I'm a Marine.
Yeah.
So-
It's a big it's like a big frat, for the Marine Corps, and we're really, all of us are really, really close. Even if even when you get out, you don't know another Marine, and you find out that someone else is a Marine. There's still like a bond there, regardless of whether you know each other or not. Of all of the branches, and I've dealt with all of them, including the Coast Guard, even though no one really considers them a branch. The Marine Corps is still like we're the smallest branch. So a lot of us will meet each other several times within our careers. If you stay in long enough, you'll always run into people again and again and again. And we're just like a really big brotherhood. You know what I mean? And it's military in general is closer than the average, like out in civilian world. But it's just a different lifestyle because of all the shit we have to do and what we have to go through. We joke different, we think different. Marine Corps, as from what I know of the Marine Corps, we're just nasty people, like, yeah, we go hogging. I'm not sure if the Air Force does that, but yeah, I've gone hogging before, you put your money in a pot and go find the biggest, nastiest chick, and the guy that, that wins gets the money. It is what it is. It's an experience. But it's a lot of fun.
So
it's the same thing in the Air Force, except it's called beauty contest.
Beauty contest.
Yeah.
They had this in, I was listening to Joe Rogan, like it was one of those clips, and he was talking about Marines. So you can either prove or disprove him right now. But he was talking about how there was this weird thing about Marines where they would share like wives and stuff. Like, can you attest to that, or is that
There
or is that more like a myth? They said it for fighter pilots, but like we've been in the Air Force and fighter pilots, their fucking egos were so fucking high that they would not do that shit. I just don't see it.
They probably weren't doing it intentionally. Their wives were just probably doing it. But so my first 5 years, I was in the air wing, right? So I worked around jets and that kind of stuff. My second 5 years in the Marine Corps, I was in the legal field. So I did court martials and Article 32s and things
you were that guy.
I was that guy. So in being in that, like I learned a lot about what goes on behind the scenes. And there was a huge ring where, and it was in Camp Lejeune, which Camp Lejeune is like our second or first or second biggest base that we have. Out of the Marine Corps, at least. And where the wives, when their husbands go on deployments, would have like this code, and that means they're down to fuck, and people could just show up there and like bang them out, you know? And what they were doing is they would put like a different colored bulb on their porch light, or they'd keep like a mop and a bucket out, or it was some little code they had. And it was this huge ring. It was like hundreds of these wives were doing that. It was then there was no fighter jet pilot wives on there. It was all grunts. So they were all, you know, tanks and door kickers and shit like that. But yeah, there was like a huge ring, at least in the Lejeune area, of these wives that were just putting these little codes out, and they're just having like sex parties, you know, just big ass orgies down there. And they all got busted. And of course we can't do shit to the wives, but they did kick them out of base housing. So it was crazy.
Shit.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude. Yeah, a lot of crazy.
What the fuck,
dude? I'm like mind blown right now.
Yeah, dude. The wives are terrible, man. You know, I did a case where not just the wives, the guys are bad too. I did a case where this guy popped for weed, and they called the defense called the guy's wife up and was like, okay, well, why do you feel your husband popped for marijuana? And she said, well, I have a prescription for marijuana, and I made a batch of brownies one day, and I put the brownies out, and he didn't know about it, and he ate them. And that's why he popped for marijuana. And this is like, let's say this is on like January the 1st, just for a number. And so the defense gets up, or I'm sorry, the prosecution gets up, and they're like, when did you get this prescription? And she's like, oh, I got it. Well, let's say if he popped on the 1st, the case was like, the trial was like on, maybe in February. She's like, oh, I got it like after the date he popped is when she got this prescription, which was terrible. And then they're like, where did you get this prescription from? It's like weeddoctor.com. It just didn't look good. And so a lot of times these Marines will pop for weed, and it's because the wives are putting this shit, in their food.
Like secretly?
Well, I don't know if it could be secretly, it could be on purpose, or the guy could be doing it on purpose. So they ended up, the guy got off, and then like 2 weeks later he popped again for weed, and they kicked him out. I had another one where this guy popped for coke, and the wife was saying that she had sprinkled cocaine in her vagina to help him last longer, because if coke's has like a numbing.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And he went down on her and got the clam all juiced up and ingested the coke, and that's why he popped. So
I had a friend who was in the Navy, and he was the guy in charge of giving all the random drug tests to people. And he was saying that through he did that for like 4 years, I think. And during those 4 years, he's like, yeah, I never picked myself to that shit. So I was like doing coke, I was doing heroin. It's like I did meth for the first time. I was like, yeah, don't ever do that one like that. That's not cool. But yeah, dude, he's like, yeah, I was the one that selected people. So if there was somebody that people hated, like they would just come to me and I would like pick him like consecutive times, like just make him go pee or whatever. But Dude, that's fucked up though.
Yeah, dude. We had a bunch of like drugs in the military, man. You wouldn't even know it. There was like drug like kingpins kind of type of deal. This guy had like a condo up in Orange County. He was a Marine on Camp Pendleton, and the undercover cop that like went to go see him said she walked into his condo and there was a bowl of like coke, like as you walk in, you know, like kind of like Scarface. That's how like big this guy had gotten. So it's a huge deal, man. Yeah, big deal.
Oh my god.
How about in the Navy? Do you see crazy shit going on in the Navy as well?
Well, I'm in the reserve, so I'm not in it every day. So I go in, you know, once a month and my 2 weeks a year, and that's pretty much it. The craziest shit I saw was when I went to go to training, and I went to Fort Leonard Wood for training, and I'm used to, you know, the Marine Corps where if you're coming out from what we call the fleet and you go to like a training environment, you're not a student, you're not coming out of boot camp, you know, this is your first time, you know, being out of that structured environment. Like I had been in for 10 years already, you know, at that point I was like 14 years, and they're sending me to school again. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to come here. They're going to give me a hotel. You know, I'm going to show up to these classes, and, you know, I'll get to rent a car, whatever. I'll drive around, see the sights, whatever. And I walked in that night. They had lost my luggage. The airline had lost my luggage. So I'm checking in like jeans and like a sweater. It's like 0 degrees outside, literally. And they're like, I walk in, they're like, where the fuck is your uniform? And I was like, we got lost in the airline, you know. And he was the guy that I checked in with was an E6, and I'm an E5. But I'd been in, you know, forever in a day. So he's asking all these questions like, you know, where you come from, how long you been in the military, like what'd you do before? And I'm telling him, yeah, I was in the Marine Corps for 10 years, you know, been doing this for 4 years, and, you know, this is my background. And it changed his tune after I told him I was in the Marine Corps for 10 years. This guy only been in for like 6 or 7 years. So I'd literally been in like twice the time this guy has been there. So that's how my 3 months there started, was with like this guy being an asshole. And so then they're like, okay, well, you're the most senior guy here. Go ahead, and we'll put you in charge of all the students, and then you'll liaison with the instructors, and, you know, we'll pass word to you, and so on and so forth. So I took over, and I'm noticing like all the shit that's fucked up with these guys, to where they're keeping the kids up. You know, on Sunday they're having like a muster at like 10:30 at night to pass word, and it's like an hour muster, and then you got to be up again like 4 a.m. to go run. You know, and I'm like, that's pretty shitty thing to do to like these kids when they don't, you know, they're only getting like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and they have to go to classes all day. You know what I mean? Like, that's not setting them up for success. So, and then for us, like the senior guys, like the petty officers, we were in our own little wing, but we were still under the same rules as the kids. We couldn't go out by ourselves. We had a curfew. You had to go through like these certain things to even get like your civilian clothes and whatnot. And it was just a bunch of crap. So I ended up, the last straw for me was I was in class, and that particular day was like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 below. And so we have like all of our warm gear on, right? Like all our jackets and shit. But when you go in the classroom, it's hot in there, so you got to like, you know, take all your stuff off. And we had hard hats because I'm in construction. And so I put my hard hat on the ground, and the class is over. We're getting ready to go outside. They had told us already, like, don't put your hard hats on the table. You know, it gets like dirt and you know, water on it. We don't like it. I'm like, okay, cool. So I put my hard hat on the table just to put my jacket on and to go outside. And the instructor, who's a female who's been like 5 years, comes by and slaps my helmet all the way down to the other side of the table and onto the floor. So at that point, I fucking lost it. I'm sitting there. I'm just staring at her. Right? I'm putting my jacket on, I'm zipping everything up, and then so I got all my gear on, and I'm just standing there, just looking at her. I didn't say shit to her, and so she's looking around like, oh, like what the fuck? She walks over and picks up my helmet, brings it back. She's like, we're not supposed to have helmets on the table. You know, I was like, at that point,
Thank you, bitch. I know.
Yeah. So now I'm back in, you know, Marine Corps mode, and everyone there calls me sergeant. They don't even call me petty officer. They all call me sergeant. And so I'm like, hey, let me go talk to you outside real quick. And so I take her out back, and the knife hands come out. I'm fucking yelling at her. I told her to go to like the position of attention. She's just standing tall. And I'm going off on this chick for a solid 5 minutes. It was just ridiculous. So I finally got pulled away by like another senior instructor. He's like, hey, like, we can't do this here. I'm like, I'm done. I said what I had to say. And, if the shit ever happens again, you stand by. So I ended up letting the instructors know. And they apologized. And the next day she had all my gear was ready for me. It was all warmed up. She was super nice. She was asking me for permission to do shit. And so I decided to write a letter to our commanding officer, who we were a detachment in Missouri, in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. We're a detachment there, so they have an officer in charge. But our CO was actually in Mississippi, in Gulfport, Mississippi, who was a full bird colonel. And so I wrote a letter. It was like a 3-page letter, and it basically said, all your instructors are fucked up. This whole system you have here is fucked up. And these are the reasons why. And I put everything out, and it was a really, really well-written letter. And they really would have gotten screwed if I had sent that off. So I intended to send it off. I gave it to my instructors, and they're like, wow, okay, we'll send it up. And so the letter went up. So a day later, before we get marched off, I got called into the OIC's office, right? And this guy's got the letter there. It's a black dude. I don't know if it makes any difference. I just wanted to paint the picture.
It always makes a difference. They're scary.
Yeah. So it's a black. He tells me to go in his office, and they close the door, and this dude just jumps up out of his chair and is like, "What the fuck do you think you're doing? Like, this letter is a fucking mutinous letter. I'm gonna charge your ass with mutiny. Like, I'm gonna take you to court martial. Like, you're done in the Navy." And I just stand there and I'm like, "Sir, it's my right to request permission to speak to the CO. If you'd like to charge me with mutiny, by all means, that's your right. I'm taking it to court martial, and I want to pick my own lawyers and my own judge." And he looks at me. He's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Who do you think you are?" I'm like, "Sir, just to let you know, I was prior Marine. I was in the legal field. I know the Navy and the Marine Corps rules. So if you want to do something, like, by all means, like, that's your right. Go ahead and do it. But I'm telling you right now, you're not going to win." And,
Mic drop.
Yeah. So he ends up kicking me out. He ends up kicking me out of his office, and the next day, I go to see. Oh, hold on, I got being moved again.
It's okay. We like watching you do the Blair Witch Project view here.
Yeah, the kids' room. They're not here right now. So then I end up having to talk to like our Master Chief, who's like the E9 there. And he's like, "Okay, well, things got a little out of hand." He's like, "You're not going to be charged, so that's good." I just laughed. And so they ended up making a bunch of changes, and the letter never got sent out. So and to like years after that, they stripped me of all my responsibilities. They said, "You know what? You don't need to do anything anymore. Just be around when we need you to go to class." And years after that, everyone that went through that school was, if they met me, they're like, "You're the guy they still talk about? Like, you're the one that did the letter?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, they fucking hate you. They still talk about you and how much of an asshole you were. And it wasn't that I was an asshole. I don't like to see shit that's fucked up, like the way they were doing things was not right. And I unfucked them. They didn't like that. And the guy that came behind me sent my letter to the IG, who was a investigating general. And they came through and like cleaned house. They tore all those guys apart. A lot of people got fired, and it was just a bad day for them. So, yeah, man, it was a good time. I don't take a lot of shit. I don't like it.
Well, you're my type of person.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Did they ever like? This is in the Navy, right?
This was in the Navy. Yeah.
So do they? You said they still talk about you changing that thing, and have you gotten back to see if like what kind of changes they implemented?
No. I can care less if they did or not. I was already out of there, man. They said they implemented a couple changes. Like they at first I took over all of the PT, so they weren't out there for PT anymore. I took over all of the musters. So I would do musters on time, early on Sunday, so these guys can do whatever they wanted to do. They let the fleet returnees, like the petty officers that were coming in, they let us go to the store by ourselves. What else? We didn't have a curfew anymore. A few other like minor changes, but yeah, at that point they're like, you know what, like just don't do anything anymore. Like just you're here for like another like 3 weeks. Just do whatever you want. Just make sure you're at class. Like we don't care anymore.
I would say, it just pisses me off when you see stuff like where they're fucking with people's quality of life.
Yeah, and that's what it was. I didn't like that, And
you're just doing it for the hell of it. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
One of them had the balls to tell me that school was like going through like a spec ops school. It's like, we're like the SEALs here. This is like a SEAL school. It's that hard. I'm like, really, dude? Because I see a 44-year-old reservist over there that walks when we go, on our runs. That's like what you're telling me. And again, I got thrown out of the office. But it's just they thought they were harder than what they really were, and no one there.
It's Top Gun, bro.
Yeah, Top Gun. Yeah, yeah. They didn't like that. I challenged them. I was like, if any of you guys think you're that badass, like we can go outside right now and see whichever one of you guys can beat me. Hey, I'll do everything you guys want to do. And I got thrown out of the office, and that was that.
No. Then when you're outside, do you say? So does that mean I win?
Yeah. After I graduated, they were pretty cool. They were like, hey, yeah, like we didn't really like we just didn't like the fact that you're doing it in front of the students. You know what I mean? Like you're challenging us, and I was like, I was like, I probably would have won. And they're like, that's maybe. So whatever.
No, I think on the contrary, that's good that the students saw that, because that's, they want to be able to look up at leadership and be like, that guy can get shit done.
Oh, yeah. And they did like everything, a lot of those guys, they were like really down as far as like the morale was down because they were just getting shit on every day. And I brought the morale up. We used to have like we started off the day with like jokes, and, everyone had like a nickname. So it was cool. Like at least when I was there, it was fun, and everybody liked their time there, even though it was miserable. We still had a good time. And I don't know how it happened after I left. I know shit like went down after I left, but yeah, fuck those guys.
You had or have a really interesting job in like in the legal side, right? You're the guy that types.
I'm the guy that types.
You're the guy that types.
Yeah, so, I'm in the corner, and
how many words per minute?
See, I was one of their fastest. So out of school, I was at 300 words a minute out of school.
It's nothing to sniff at.
No, yeah, real quick. And I'm a special case. Most of the reporters that had gone through that school had never reached graduating speeds, which is 225. And for whatever reason, I was just really, really good at it, and I just took off. And they literally told me, we want to see how fast you can get in the 2 years. It's a 2-year school. And I was able to reach 300 words a minute. And the only reason I stopped at that speed was because the teacher, like physically and literally, could not speak any faster. That was her absolute limit as fast as she could talk. And that's two teachers, doing back and forth.
They should have just put Eminem rapping on it. You'd just be like,
yeah, on fire. Yeah, I mean, the job itself was really interesting. You get it sounds fast, but you get really good at it, like anything else, if you do it every day. And I would take a laptop in, and I would put movies on, and I would watch a movie and record everything that's going on at the same time. Unless it was like a murder case. I got all the high profile stuff, so I did like all the murder cases. There was a case in Camp Lejeune where these two Marines had, I think it was one of the Marines' girlfriends. They basically stabbed her, and they were fucking her in the hole that they stabbed her in.
What the fuck?
They had stabbed her like 30 times. So she was just like, she had died, obviously. And these guys are just fucking going nuts in like all these little different holes that they had made in her. There was one, my best one, my all-time favorite case was this guy. He was a recruiter out of, I think like Ohio or somewhere around that area. And his wife was, I believe, like going through like cancer treatments. And they were having marital issues. So he would stay late at the office, right? And it's one of those like multi-branch offices with like Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. And his next, I guess, like his office mate, like the next door office, was like an Army recruiter. And it was a female, and she had a daughter. So she had, someone watching her daughter for her. And she would invite like the guys over to her house to like for parties and stuff like that. So he went over to her house one day for a party, and the babysitter like dropped off her kid and ended up staying for the party. Well, one of these days that he stayed, he ended up like hooking up with the babysitter, right? Long story short, they end up like hooking up over and over and over again. She ends up telling him like she's pregnant, and he's like, well, I'm still like married. I can't do this. She's like, don't worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and sleep with this other guy, and then we'll just blame it on him, and he'll take the fall.
Holy shit. That's like the movie, dude.
Dude, it was legit. So he ends up like manning up and says, you know what, I got to do the right thing. He ends up going to tell her dad, who's the Army Sergeant Major for the battalion, for like this medical base that's close by, right? So he goes in, he's like, sir, I got your daughter pregnant. Like, we've been, in a relationship for like the last 6 months, whatever. And he goes, oh, you mean such and such? He goes, no, I forgot her name. We'll just say Jody. So Jody, and she goes, the one in the picture here? He goes, yeah, that one in the picture. And she goes, she's 15 years old.
Oh.
And, so then, he calls his Sergeant Major in the Marine Corps, and this whole investigation begins. And so now, then it comes to me, and I'm getting all the evidence from both sides. So CID, which is Criminal Investigations Division, same thing as NCIS, but it's the Marine Corps side. We call it CID. They had to do a statement on this guy, right? So they brought him in, and they said, we need you to write down, from A to Z, what happened. It was like a 5-page statement this guy had to write up. So the first one he did, they submitted, and they rejected it because it read like a fucking hustler. It was awesome. I get all this info, even though we're not going to submit it to the judge, we still have to receive it. And I got the second one, which is like a watered-down version, which no one really cared about. But I had seen the first version, the judge had seen it, and the prosecution and defense had both seen it. And essentially what it said was, I met her at a party. I took off my clothes. I stripped down to my purple silk boxers, and I was showing off all my dance moves. I caught her eye. I ended up taking it to the back, and literally it was like, I ended up smashing it for like 30 minutes. And this is like what he's putting in his statement. This is how much of a tool this guy was. So, so there was a bunch of stories like that, and like Roadhead and meeting the mother, and she got pregnant and she lost it because she was a wrestler, and just the whole nine, right? So
What the fuck?
basically the story said that this guy like destroys pussy like no other, and he has badass dance moves. This is basically what the whole 5-page statement said. And this is what we've all read, and during the trial they had to bring the girl in, and from the pictures I saw, this chick did not look 15. She looked like 20 something. She looked bad as fuck. And for the trial, they put like a little Sunday dress on her. They really, really churched her up. She looked like a 15-year-old at the trial, which really fucked him over. And so she gets up there, and it's like super embarrassing. I feel really bad for like the victims when they have to do this, but they have to describe in explicit detail what happened, And so she gets up there at first, and she says, "Well, met him at a party, and went to the room, and then we had sex." And the defense, the prosecutor's like, "Oh, okay, well, I get that. I'm sorry. Could you give us some more detail? Like, did you pull it out? Did you pull your panties off? Did you pull your panties off?" That kind of thing. And she's like, super embarrassed because it's, the judge, the prosecution, her family in the back, and like, 12 members of for the gallery. And so then she goes, well, I pulled his pants down. He pulled off my panties, and then I, sucked on his dick he shouldn't say dick, sucked on his penis for a while. And then he put it inside, and about a minute later he came. And she said that, and the judge drops a pencil. The prosecution throws up a binder. The defense guy behind him, you know, and the judge is like, I can see the judge from where I'm at, and
Is he
he's on the
shaking?
ground. He's on the ground laughing his ass off. He's holding it in, and he's laughing. I'm open. I have nowhere to go. I'm open, and I'm sitting there. I'm biting my tongue. I'm just like looking up, and that was hands down like the best trial. And this guy just sits there with like a creepy, like a pedophile grin. Like he had a straight up pedophile grin the entire time. He never stopped grinning. That's the weird part about it. And that was my favorite. I kept a copy. I probably shouldn't have, but I kept a copy of those papers. I think I lost it when I moved, but I had a copy of those papers for years after that, and I would show people because it was so damn funny. It was great. Yeah, that was fun.
Now, how do we've talked? I've talked to you about this, but how do you capture like tonality? Like if I know, like if somebody
that's objective. That's an objective thing. So you may think I'm yelling at you because my voice is loud. I may just be passionate. Black people don't yell; they're just passionate people. That's why they sound more louder than most. So everything, there's no exclamation points. There's no. If it's a question, obviously it's a question, and everything else is just a period for a sentence. So we don't do expressions or any of that stuff.
So how do they capture like whether somebody like was like, I don't know, like what do they call it? Like treating the whatever the hostile or whatever, something like that they call it.
Well, we capture what they say. You know what I mean? So if you're reading it, you can kind of tell the guy's being a fucking dick, or he's being sarcastic. You kind of you just got to read it, And if we just put down, what they say, and we punctuate it accordingly. But yeah, you can't really tell. You got to be like in the courtroom. We just capture what they say. That's all we really care about. We don't do with. Are they yelling? Do I think this is? Something that I should put an exclamation point on. Yeah, it was just a period. Everything's just like a normal sentence, unless it's a question. Really, really easy in that department. But yeah, those are fun. Like murder ones are fun as far as what you get to hear. The rape ones are always interesting. 9 times out of 10, it's not rape. It comes out that the girl just got caught and just screamed rape.
Interesting.
Yeah. 9 times out of 10, man, it's usually not rape, at least in the military.
I've asked this of other people that we've had on, but when a woman or anyone claims rape and it turns out that the accused gets convicted and then later on they find out that it was false, do you think that person that was the accuser should serve the time that was given to the accused?
I think she should serve some time, dude. 'Cause, I mean, she put everything through that. It definitely puts a stain on the other person's reputation and their career.
Even if they get
even if they get off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're fucked. Like they're not going to get promoted. They're going to get kicked out probably. At the end of their term, and the girl just goes on living life like nothing ever happened, and that's not right. Yeah.
That's like that story I heard of that lady that was selling positive pregnancy tests on Craigslist.
That's
Dude,
awesome. Good for her. She's a business.
Shit.
She's an entrepreneur,
Damn.
How come we can't do pregnancy tests? It's just messed up.
Yeah.
Dude.
Craigslist, apparently.
That's fucked up, though. Jesus. Bitches be crazy.
Yes, they are.
It's awesome.
So, anyway, Solemn, I think we're going to cut it there. But you're doing something else right now that I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, I also do. Like I said, I have an ex-wife. I have 4 kids, 3 of them with my ex-wife. So I pay a lot of. I get paid really well, but I also pay a lot in child support and alimony. So being that necessity is the mother of all creation, I decided I need another hustle. So I started doing real estate on the side. So now I do real estate, and I do what's called a wholesaling, which is if you're driving around, this is any state, this is nationwide. If you see those signs that say we buy houses fast, or the little yellow posters all over the city,
mm-hmm.
that's like what I do. I don't do the poster route because I think that's kind of cheesy. Even though it does work, I just don't want to do that. But yeah, I buy and sell houses from people that are in distressed situations. So if any of your listeners have like someone that they're lost their job or they have an inherited house or they're getting foreclosed on and they can't go the traditional route of getting a realtor and waiting like the 3 to 6 months to sell it, or they just don't have the closing costs, or they don't have enough equity in the house. I am able to buy it cash within a week most times, and then get them some money, get them out of their house, or find a creative way to buy it. Even if they're upside down, I can still buy it and give them money and make money on it myself. So that's like the hustle now. That's the plan is to get that going enough to where it surpasses my current W-2 income, and then just work that job as a business owner.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So if people wanted to find you, where would they need to go?
If they want to find me, I am on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. The best way to find me is LinkedIn. I'm pretty big on LinkedIn, and I do check Facebook quite often. But it's all under Rogers Investments, RODGERS Investments. You can find me, or my name, Solomon Rogers. You can also send me an email at info@Rogers Investments, and I respond pretty quick. I can do work pretty much all over the U.S. I'm based out of Southern California. So if you're here in California area, I can hook you up pretty easily. Right now, I'm currently doing deals out in Houston, Texas, Galveston, Jacksonville, Florida, and I think I have another one coming up in northern Florida as well. So
it's pretty sweet, man.
Well, yeah,
man.
We'll leave a link in the YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, we'll put it up on our website.
And then the description and the website. So
yeah, throw it up there. Absolutely. Cool.
Yeah, help you out, dude.
Yeah. Oh, also www.rogersinvestments.org.
So it's legit.
Yeah, it's legit. .com was taken.
.com was taken?
.com was taken.
Oh, those fuckers.
Yeah.
You have to find a way to buy it out.
Yeah, it's like $10,000. It's something crazy like that.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah, but man, but this was fun. I liked it. Enjoy it.
Oh, yeah, I had a blast.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I really enjoyed meeting the or I guess you could say the long lost brother of Denzel Washington.
That's it. All right. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll do my little outro, and we'll call it a quits, boys.
Nice.
All right. This episode of the Nothing Better to Listen To podcast can be downloaded on iTunes, Google Play, or directly from shoutengine.com. You can go to our website at nbtltpodcast.com. Be sure to leave us a review on any of these forums if you like the episode, or if you just want to rant at us or call us names. That's fine with us. Our bumper music is provided by bensound.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and you can also email us with your questions or comments at mail@nbtltpodcast.com. And be sure to see our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, and you can also find us on Reddit at reddit.com/r/nbtlt. Have a good 2 weeks, guys.